Today you need your student text, pages 104 to 109, your activity manual, pages 87 and 88, and your describing sounds handout. That is a great introduction to our new chapter titled Sound. I want you now to take a few moments and look at your activity manual, page 87. And it is our looking ahead page. In the directions say to put an X in the first column if you've never heard the word before. The words are listed here on the left down. Put an X in the second column if you have heard the word before. And in the last column, write what you think each word means. And at the bottom, the question says, how can you cause an object to vibrate? Very interesting. Now I want you to take a moment or two and work on that. Pause the program. Did you notice the picture of the beautiful music hall on the first page of the chapter? Well, this is actually Smetana Hall, and it's located in the city of Prague, which is in the country of the Czech Republic. Now, Smetana was a very famous composer. A composer writes music, and Smetana is from the country where this hall is located, and it is a very, very beautiful place, isn't it? I want you to look at a couple of other beautiful concert halls. And this one up on the left is called Severance Hall, and it is actually in the city of Cleveland in Ohio. And the one on the bottom right is called the Musikverein, and it's in Vienna, Austria. Beautiful music are played in these places and enjoyed by many, many people. And actually, I have had the privilege of hearing concerts in both of those halls. Now we're going to take a look ahead at what we've got in store in this chapter. Sound and music is all around us. Now, the worldview question for this chapter says, how can I use sound to glorify God? I think that's a very interesting question. Have you ever thought about that before? God created sound, including people's ability to speak. Because of that, we should speak in a way that honors the Lord. The Bible tells us that the words of our mouth should be acceptable to God. They should be right, pure and clean. And we also should use our words to encourage and help other people, not to tear them down. We can use our words to talk to other people about what the Bible teaches as well. We can also use sounds for enjoyment, like listening to beautiful music. Learning about sounds helps us to use and enjoy it better. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and remain very still. We're going to have you listen for about 15 seconds, and during this time, I want you just to listen to what is going on around you. What did you hear? Maybe you heard the hum of the refrigerator, or maybe birds outside. Maybe you heard someone talking or playing music in another room. Well, I heard the hum of the machines in this room. That's about all. Scientists use their senses to get information. They're from their sight, their touch, their taste, their smell. They also use their ears to get information. And since science is using our senses to observe what God created and then recording what we observed, you and I can be scientists. Now, we might not work in a fancy lab, but we can work as scientists work right in this class and right in your home. Now I want you to do some reading, and as you read, look for the answer to this question. What are some things that sounds can tell us? What were some of the sounds that you heard as you listened a few moments ago? Well, ordinary sounds that we hear in our homes are things like the refrigerator, the vacuum cleaner, maybe a musical instrument practicing, people talking. Noises outside include things like cars and birds, construction work, airplanes, animals, and even insects. And God has given us the gift of sound, and that gift allows us to observe the world around us. Sounds can also warn us of danger. When you hear that sound, you know that an emergency vehicle like a fire truck or an ambulance is moving quickly down the road to get where it's needed. Now I want you to look at these words. Sound, say it with me. Sound. And vibration. Vibration. It's time for you to read again, and as you read, look for the answer to this question. How does a tuning fork make sound? We hear sounds all the time, but what is sound? Sound is a form of energy that you can hear. So what causes a sound? A sound is caused by a moving object that's vibrating. So what is a vibration? You probably know it's just a rapid back and forth movement. Now, we can't see a sound, can we? But we might be able to see and feel a vibration. I have a couple of tuning forks here, and each of these tuning forks is designed to make a specific musical tone or note. And tuning forks can be used by musicians to help tune their instruments. And how you use this is you strike it against an object. If you put it up against your ear, you can hear that it makes a tone. Now, you probably can't hear it where you are, but I can hear when I strike it that it makes a specific tone. Now, the different lengths and sizes of the tuning forks will help determine what kind of tone it makes. Just so you know, the longer one's going to make a lower tone or a lower sound. Now, when it is struck, when the tuning fork is struck, it vibrates as it makes the sound. Now, watch the water. Now, let's see that again. So the water shows the effects of the vibrations that the tuning fork is making. Now, think about a bell. If you ring a bell, you can hear that sound because the clapper inside is hitting against the inside of the bell. Or if you even tap a bell, you can hear a sound. Now, what is the source of the sound? It's actually the vibrating part of the bell. Listen again. And if the bell is ringing and I touch or hold the bell when it's vibrating, it stops. And when the vibrating stops, the sound also stops. Why? Because the vibrations are stopped, and that is what is causing the sound to stop. Now, I want you to look at your describing sounds page. You should have it in front of you, and has some directions at the top. What you're going to do is to look at your book on page 106 and 107, and you're going to take a few moments and look carefully at those pictures and think about the different things that are pictured in these two pages that are making sounds. I want you to find some interesting words and action verbs to describe the sounds that you see pictured here. Now, on your page, the first one is done for you. And what does it say? You see pictured the brook splashed over the rocks as it rolled down the hill. What else could you write? Look at the picture again. What about the bell rang loudly to announce the hour? Or the helicopter flies overhead, the propellers whirl. Over here, the workmen pound nails into the new building. Now, on your page, you can see you have several lines that you can fill in to use describing words for sounds that are pictured. What I want you to do, you can either pause the program and work on that right now, or you can finish it when the program is over. But now it's time for quick check. What is a sound? A sound is a vibration you can hear. You might have said a form of energy that you can hear, and that's correct too, because a vibration is energy. Now, as you read this next section, I want you to look for the answer to this question. What part of your neck vibrates to make sounds? Now, here are some things that you probably have around your house. Of course, you probably have a couple of pencils, wooden pencils, and sandpaper, a couple pieces of sandpaper, a whistle. You probably have a whistle at home, and a shoebox. Now, my shoebox has been painted, and a little oval has been cut out of the center, and some rubber bands have been placed across the top of it. But you've probably got a shoebox in your house. Now, these things work in a similar way to the instruments that the students are playing on page 108 work. And you can see 4 pictures of different kinds of instrument that different children are playing. Now, each student is making vibrations with an instrument. Now, look at the boy with the trumpet. What is he doing to make a vibration? He is blowing through the trumpet. Now think about the things I just showed you. Which of the things, the pencils, the sandpaper, the whistle, or the shoebox, which one could I use to make a sound by blowing? Well, I hope you said the whistle. Think about the next picture. What about the girl with the guitar? What is she doing to make vibrations? She's plucking the strings on the guitar. Which of these things would I be able to pluck in order to make a sound? Well, my shoebox that I've made into a little instrument. Listen, you can hear little sounds as I pluck the rubber bands. Maybe you notice that the thickness of the rubber band helps to make different sounds. Listen again. The thinnest rubber band made the highest sound. Now, look at the boy with the violin. Okay, what is he doing? What's he doing to the strings to make them vibrate? Do you know? Well, he's actually rubbing them with this part of the instrument, this separate part called a bow. Now, which of the things that I have can I make a sound with by rubbing? Maybe you've done this before. Two pieces of sandpaper rubbed together. And look at that last picture. What is this girl doing in order to cause vibrations? She's hitting the drum. And I can use these pencils or other sticks and hit them together to make a sound. So those are the ways that we make sounds. By blowing, by rubbing, by plucking, and by hitting. Now think about this person here. What are these young people doing? They are singing. Let's find out how the sound of talking and singing is made. I want you to put 2 fingers on your throat like this and hum for about 10 seconds. Just do a hum, maybe a little song like row, row, row your boat. What do you feel? Can you feel that vibration? I hope you can. The vibrations that are made make the humming sound. And what part of your neck vibrates to make the sounds? Your vocal cords. So air actually passes through, or you could say air blows through your throat and makes the vocal cords vibrate. So every time you talk, sing, or hum, the air makes part of your throat vibrate. And these vibrations are what make the sound that is heard. So let's review again the 4 ways that vibrations can be made. Can you say them with me? We can make vibrations by hitting, plucking, rubbing, and blowing. When you talk, sing, or hum, which of these ways are you using? Air is blowing through your throat, and that makes the vibrations. Now it's time for quick check. What are the 4 ways an object can vibrate? Blowing, hitting, plucking, and rubbing. Now let's take another look at the different parts of the orchestra instruments making vibrations in those 4 ways: blowing, hitting, plucking, and rubbing. Now let's look at Activity Manual, page 88. And you can see that this is a crossword puzzle, and it is called Vibrations. So you're going to complete the crossword puzzle. You've got several going across and several going down. And as you review what we've been discussing, those will be the answers to the crosswords. So we know that sound is made by vibrations, and in the next lesson we're going to be discussing the interesting way that sound moves and travels. And your assignment today is to finish the Describing Sounds handout and to complete Activity Manual, page 88.